It's National Signing Day, and Oklahoma seems to have signed everybody. We'll talk about that and more here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media Productions presented by Sleeper. That's Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet and like, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. I don't think we deserve it. Go ahead and give us 5 anyway. And gift it. So on today's episode, we got some fun things, of course, that we're going to dive into, like the latest playoff polls. We've seen what the committee thinks, and we're going to tell y'all what we think. We're also going to talk about the 24 players that Oklahoma signed so far in their 2026 class. I did say so far on the reason. And of course, we'll take all your comments and your questions. So it's a great day to be a Sooner. I'm not going to lie. Coop, happy Wednesday, man. How you doing?
Hey, we have not done a show in December yet. So happy December to you, Jay, because November flew and Red November flew. So
Red November flew. Feels good.
It's a good day. Get some good football weather too.
Yeah. Actually, here it is some good football weather. I was in Nashville the last few days, and it was like 30 degrees. I had my big North Face coat, luckily, and I was freezing my tail off. But yeah, we are in December, first show of this month. As Coop mentioned, Red November. Not only was it a 4-0 success, we ran through that bad boy and made the magic happen. Sooners are now looking at a good spot. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Appreciate y'all here in the comments section. Drop your comments. If you want your questions answered quickly, feel free to do a super chat. Support the channel. But I do want to thank y'all. Coop, we are at, let me get the exact number right now, 20,286. Like over the last day, 150 people have subbed to the channel. I think it's mainly because of the Fox Sports analyst videos I put out. Those have put out over 60,000 views. It's been pretty crazy. But no, thank you all. We're over 20 and more to come. We're going to be locking in after this season and really getting some stuff brewing. So we appreciate y'all supporting us, this hustle, supporting us with our, our free time hanging out and talking ball with you all. So just wanted to say thank you. Coop, did you have any words to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, this is we love doing this. We love doing this to talk ball, and we like to, try to wade through all of the nonsense out there. And so, I mean, we appreciate you all. And I know you all have been super supportive, through family stuff with me here recently. And so, man, if you guys ever, have something you guys are going through, I mean, let us know so we can get everybody rallying behind you. I know a couple people in my DMs have hit me up with stuff too. So, I mean, we do it not just for the, not just for all the fame, Jay. The
fame. There's fame that's involved in this.
The fives of people out there that love us. So
the high fives we get, yeah, I love it. Yeah, we do get some good high fives. I do appreciate. Yeah, we appreciate the high fives. We do appreciate the attention and the love that, of course, and like you said, Coop. The way y'all rallied around Coop and everything during his time, the way you rallied around Reggie Powers and their entire family, when they were going through some things. We appreciate it. Be Wise, appreciate you, my guy. Barry Wise from Barry Mac Show in the comment section. What's going on, G? Thank you. Y'all have just grateful and humbled by the fact that y'all care about us. Even when y'all get here and fight with us. I hope Chuck shows up so I can fight with him some more like I always do. But I digress. We gotta talk some ball, Coop. So we're gonna talk the recruiting class. Don't worry. So stick around for that. That'll probably be next up. I want to open up and not only talk about the rankings that just dropped recently, but also all of the belly aching that I've seen on the social medias. I am in the most amount of shock I think I've ever been in seeing people lose their collective minds about this. So let me pull it up. Here's your rankings that dropped last night. Oklahoma, of course, maintains number 8. A&M dropped to 7, which was anticipated, similar to how it was in the AP poll. And then, Alabama jumped Notre Dame, and BYU is still down at 11, Miami at 12, Texas comes in at 13, Vanderbilt at 14, and we'll stop at 15 with Utah. And I think for me, what jumped out the most is they consider Oklahoma the best 10-2 team right now in the country. I appreciate that because I agree. They also think that Texas is the best 9-3 team in the country. I'm not sure why Texas doesn't appreciate that. They think they should jump everybody else, but that's not how any of this goes. Records still have to matter in some capacity. And the loss to Florida would probably have made Texas one of the lower 10-2 teams because they lost to a 4-8 Florida. But anyway, the belly aching has been going, dog. Like, Fox Sports has definitely sent out a memo to every single one of their hosts saying, hey, I need you to bash Oklahoma and their offense because people will agree with you and how they should not be here. Coop, it annoyed the heck out of me. I've already put 2 videos out about it, but the funny part about it is the memo being sent out has like the complete opposite take on Alabama. So now that you've heard all of this stuff, Coop, what's your thoughts?
Don't lose to Florida if you're Texas. Don't lose to unranked teams if you happen to be Miami. Here's the thing is, while Notre Dame's out there trouncing through 133rd in total defense, Syracuse, Pitt, which is an empty team. It's just empty calories. It's like hitting a home run in the bottom of the 9th inning to put you on the scoreboard down 11-1. It doesn't matter. And so OU faces in November a Tennessee team ranked in the top 50 of defense, and then 3 straight teams to wrap up the season in the top 20 in defense. And so just saying this is we are showing with our defense that potent offenses are going to struggle against us. And there's caveats galore through all of these teams. Caveat here, caveat there. Well, hey, here's some caveats. What if John Mateer doesn't break his hand against Auburn? That Texas game is different. What if it doesn't rain and Satania doesn't drop the punt? If. And my dad always said, if changes things in your mind, but not in reality.
That part. Because it doesn't. It happened. And I think I appreciate Brent Venables even more when the questions was asked about where they're ranked and where the team should be. And he said it straight up. There was opportunities for us to change that. We failed. So we are wherever the cards lay us at. And I mean, it's a very big paraphrase, but basically it's how he laid it out there. He's like, look, we should have won those games. That's on us. We didn't close. And so, we're reaping what we sow. And now we're 10-2, but we're doing a great job. That's all that matters. Hard to kill. Many men out there is wishing death upon us. That's what we're seeing right now. They want Oklahoma out. And it cracks me up because, like, the Bear, when he was talking about, I can't recall seeing a schedule where every single future conference opponent is currently ranked. Oklahoma's schedule is ridiculous. I guess the positives, only 3 of them are true road games. And guess what? We out here cooking. Like, now he mad that Miami's below them without realizing that our losses are to number 6 and to number 13, where Miami's are neither one of them are ranked anymore at all. So yeah, like you said, Coop, don't lose to unranked teams.
So you line up all the losses, and obviously our losses are the best, right? And you kind of want to throw shade Texas. Well, we shouldn't schedule this game with Ohio State in the future. I don't hear Ohio State talking about that. They're not out there saying, you were down 14-0 and kind of rallied a little bit. They went back into prevent defense. They ended up getting a touchdown to make it 14-7 in that week 1. That was also Julian Sagan's first start. First start for a lot of the guys on Ohio State. So, I don't want to hear about the close victory and you went down to the let's start threatening, and then when Alabama changes their schedule, which by the way, Jay, did you know that they removed USF mutually and replaced them with East Carolina? Those teams are tied in the standings in the American Conference right now for this year.
Yeah. They're like the same,
So,
basically. They changed, they swapped their their G6 for another G6 and pushed their G6 out to where those games are closer to each other.
When a lot of these teams are arguing, it's like playing the game to where you do the deal, which hand is it in, and then you put the hand behind and you're like, oh, it's not here, I don't have it. It's like, well, what's in the other hand? Well, the other hand is a loss to 4-8 Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's what it is. So just don't lose non-cons or have stronger non-cons. Like, for example, BYU played Stanford. You know, I guess that's a respectable one. They were at 4-8 as well, and they beat them. Good stuff. The reason why Oklahoma is rated as the highest number, the highest 10-2 team in the country. Remember, 10-2. It's going to be very commonplace nowadays. It's just the talent has been spread out. You're seeing more teams get a lot of elite players. You're seeing better coaching now. People are getting better chances. And because of that, what you're seeing is you're going to have a lot of 11-1s, 10-2s, and the teams that are going to be fighting for last spots are going to be 10-2s and 9-3s. Oklahoma's rated there because they beat the number 19 team in the country. That is what helped them get ranked up there. That is the thing that said, oh, yeah, you deserve to be up there. So from there, that's something that you should keep in mind when you think about scheduling. I mean, last year, Texas had 2 losses, both to Georgia, right? But that win at Michigan helped them out a lot more than they want to give credit to. You play Ohio State a second time, you beat them. You beat them, at home. Guess what? You're going to look really good because Ohio State's probably going to be ranked really high at the end of next season too. So, especially because Sayan's going to be back, so they should be solid for the year. But on that, we got a question. We got a super chat here from Habazinga. Thank you so much for the $5. Definitely going to address this. Hawkins' dad was throwing shade at the coaches and material after the LSU game because they didn't put Mike in. Do you think he enters the portal now? He deleted all of those. So did his mom. I don't think he portals. Not yet. I'm going to reserve full judgment on that because Michael Hawkins also put something on socials. OU Daily reported on it. The student journalists, which, that's what journalism is. They're going to report what they're seeing. No, there's no need for no care for optics. If they see it, they're going to talk about it. So don't put it out there if you don't want people to talk about it. I don't see him going anywhere today, but we'll monitor this in January. I say I say after the first of the year, depending on where this team goes, we'll monitor it then. Do you have something to say on that, Coop?
I mean, he's going to enter next year as a redshirt freshman, right? Because he's preserving his red shirt this year. So if he comes in as a redshirt freshman next year, that means he's still got, 3 years to play? What you looking for?
On my shirt. 1987 is what my shirt says. Ken, you asked about my Big 8 shirt. 1987, but continue.
But yeah, so Michael Hawkins had a chance to come in against Kent State and really show something. You can't, just like our buddy Elliot in here, you can't just toss away things that happened and point towards things that you want to look at. It's a whole picture, right? You go into Kent State, it wasn't pretty. He was doing a lot of crazy stuff. And when it all comes down, he didn't show enough. He still has some progression to make. And, I will give forgiveness towards Mike Sr. because, obviously this is his kid. This is his alma mater. There's a lot of passion in it. And if we're going to get mad at folks talking noise in the middle of a game, especially when you get the college football playoff on the line and all of a sudden you find yourself not showing up, you're going to say some crazy stuff. But I do say this is no matter what this offense looks like, it's just like a big boxing match. You know that this defense is going to give this offense opportunities to come in and throw the kill shot. They're not going to take kill shots all throughout the match, but you know what's going to happen, and this is what's happened. So when you play a game, just like in poker, you win on the river, people get upset, Jay. The game includes 7 cards, right? So you got to play all 7 cards. You got to play all four quarters. And the score at the end matters. That's what matters. Winning is a skill, according to our friends there at Oklahoma Breakdown. So I just say, you're going to have opportunities if you're Hawkins next year to come in and show that you've made some progress, and you need to do it on the field and with big boy football in front of you.
Yep. All right. So we're going to not talk about that no more. Let's move on. And I like this schizo tendencies is right. Material was pretty solid before he got hurt. Period. And people keep asking, are we going to get another quarterback in the portal? No, John Material's your quarterback next season. Just get used to it. Sorry. That they're not gonna switch out of that situation. When he was healthy, and he still missed passes like a lot of quarterbacks do, but he was balling. They're gonna get him back to that status. You'll have Bo Bentley come in, who's part of the 25 class. We'll break down that class in a second. You're gonna have you still got Whit, Neubauer. I expect Hawkins to still be there and compete for a chance to play. Now he'll be a redshirt sophomore, which means he can play as many games as needed. No need to even be concerned about that status. They wanted to make sure to preserve his red shirt. He deserved to be able to have his red shirt just in case. Well, he's got it, and that's kind of how the game goes. So, I guess we got a Texas fan in here. I don't know why you're here, if you want me to be honest. There's just really no value in you being here talking smack. No one really cares what you think.
He wants to hear a fan base talk about the playoffs because
that's what it is. I can totally see that. Podcast. Yeah, I'm ignoring you. I've seen you. I'm gonna ignore you. No one cares what you have to say. So anyway, but yeah, it's good though. 8th spot because we landed at number 8. We're in. We're not going nowhere. When Alabama plays Georgia in the conference championship game, it's going to be one of those that'll help with scheduling. And there's a good question in here about this. I just had it and I started and I don't know where it went. Give me a second. Where did I see you? I'm sorry. I just had it a second ago. And here it is, Jonathan. I did have it start. Jonathan asked the question. They said preseason, the CFP committee would take strength of schedule more into consideration this year, and SEC subsequently added their 9th game. Correct. But the rankings are still mostly ordered by win-loss. Thoughts? Yes, they're taking in considerations of your strength of schedule when they get tight. Record is always going to be first. They'll always have record first. Then they'll follow up with strength of schedule with those with similar records. And you kind of see that now for the most part. Your undefeated teams are 1 and 2. They should be 1 and 2. They're undefeated. Ain't nobody else in the country undefeated. It is very hard to go undefeated regardless of your conference, regardless where you're playing. So out of respect, your undefeated teams are supposed to be at the front. Followed behind them, your 1-loss teams. And that's kind of where you're starting to see more strength of schedule pieces there. That's why Georgia's up there. You see Ole Miss behind Oregon and Tech based upon who they've played. A&M drops back from being undefeated, but they fall back because why they fall back to 7? Strength of schedule. So, and strength of resume and all of that stuff. They're looking at all of that. And that's why Oklahoma's so high up at 8. They're the highest rated 2-loss team because they played 5 teams that at the time they were ranked and beat those 5 teams. They played 7 total and they lost. They were 5 and 2 in their ranked games at the time of play. That's why Oklahoma is the highest rated 2-loss team. And they got that bump over Alabama because they beat Alabama in Alabama. If Oklahoma had losses to an unranked team and Alabama, there's a chance that Alabama would be ahead of them because of that strength of resume piece. That's the piece. That's the thing to keep in consideration in that conversation. It's 100% that's where they're using it. That's why BYU's only at 11. They lost their only big game to Tech. They haven't really played anybody else. So they're like, yeah, they're not going to get that. So Vanderbilt, same thing. I'm surprised Vanderbilt's actually behind Texas, if I'm being honest, because of how many ranked wins Vanderbilt has. But Texas does have more. They got more top 10 wins than anybody. So that's probably why they went ahead and gave them the boost, because Vanderbilt didn't lose to anybody unranked. That's the thing that kind of helps them at 10-2. But that's where their strength of schedule comes in. If the resumes are close enough, that's where the committee's looking at it. Hopefully that answers your question, Jonathan, as to what I'm seeing when it comes to strength of schedule, strength of resume, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and your conference affiliation is going to have a big play in that too. That's why you're seeing the BYU at 11-1. They played the one team that looks like
Utah is probably the one team that they good. That was a rivalry game, and then on the road they get beat up by Tech. So
yeah, and it's, one touchdown. So I just say this is, if you are upset at the SEC and the Big Ten for having more teams in, it's because it's a better conference top to bottom. And there's a lot of parity in the Big 12. And you know what? If you don't think that some of the names in the conferences make a difference, you are confused, because I think that when you have an Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas, that's going to ring a little bit more loudly than even a Texas Tech or, who else in the Big 12?
Right. You ain't really got nobody right now.
go look at the TV ratings. The TV ratings matter a lot too. And so, these things are always going to be there. So if you want the Big 12 to get some respect, Texas Tech needs to go out and win a couple games in the playoff. They're going to have to show up and do that, because I promise you, if Texas Tech goes up against a Georgia and loses 30-7 or something like that, that's going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be like when we were facing the SEC teams.
I got to disagree, though, too, in this. As people were asking, why isn't, if you take away the logos, BYU will be a top 10 team. I don't think so. And I say that because of their resume. They only have Utah on there as a win. Like, that's it.
Iowa State,
so they got a top
15
underperformed. Team. Yeah, they got a top 15 win, and that's it. Like, there's nothing else on their... they beat Colorado 24-21 on the road. And Colorado's been terrible this year. I know, I keep up with Colorado. I cover them. Vandy, I could totally understand. What hurts Vandy is... And I see what you're saying. Vandy, it's mainly because... you're probably right about the logo. That could possibly be what it is. But I will give Texas props. They do have 3 wins against teams that were ranked at the top 10 at the time. That's kind of helpful. Now, the blowout loss to Georgia and then the Florida loss really hurts more than anything.
And the struggles on the road. Let's not pretend that the overtime games and stuff like that, the game, Mississippi State, you go out there and, you need a miraculous rally, and Mississippi State just absolutely just going into a shell. Those things matter. Is the road games were not super pretty for Texas. And
right.
If they were to sneak in, they're going on the road.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So I don't know. I wonder if Miami, when I look at this again, I wonder if Miami can find a way above Notre Dame at the end of this. So, the head-to-heads count in a way, but they also weigh that with losses. This is what makes it difficult, because let's put it this way. I understand the argument for Miami ahead of Notre Dame. They played against each other. We've seen the results on the field. Totally understand that. Notre Dame's losses are to number 7 and 12. Miami's 2 losses aren't ranked.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that? Losses should count too, right? Losses and wins, they usually X each other out based upon the quality of the win. And so they had a high, Miami had a high quality win. Miami was at the top for a while, but when they were up there in the top 5, they lost games to teams that are no longer ranked. Now they're bowl eligible, but they're not ranked. So that's what makes it tough to me to be able to really put this together properly. And that's why I see why Miami is behind Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's losses are to Texas A&M and Miami was a combined 4 points, 1 point loss and a 3 point loss. That's hard.
It is. And I do have to say that the Miami logo is pretty strong, but that Notre Dame caveat of being independent, and if we're in the XYZ area, then we need to go in. Like I listen, I hate Notre Dame. I wish that they were not on this graphic.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, I mean, you played two teams. Technically, they played three good teams all year, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They lost to two of them, and they beat USC. So that's why they are at the back of Alabama and Oklahoma right there, is because, hey, you had your opportunities. Now, I also am not a big believer in A&M, and we could get into those things another day, but, that's A&M kind of should have probably lost to South Carolina, but South Carolina did South Carolina things.
Yeah.
I mean, they were reeling. And Texas, I mean, I picked Texas to win that game because I thought that was going to happen. And they've got that capability to make Marcel Reed be a better quarterback instead of just an athlete. And sometimes he gets those yips and he just throws it right between the opponent's numbers.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Hi, Bazinga with another 5. We appreciate it. Out of our potential first round matchups, who do you want to play? Who do you want to see us play? Who do you not want to play? I want Notre Dame at home. I want Virginia at the house. That'd be interesting. Bring Chandler Morris back to Oklahoma. I think that would be a fun, interesting. Tony Elliott versus Brent Venables, right? They get to go back to their old school practices that they used to have. Because remember, Tony Elliott was the OC at Clemson when BV was the DC there. That one would be a fun one. So I think Virginia will be interesting. I think Virginia and Notre Dame, I'm totally down for having. Who do I not want to play? That's where things get a little tough. Because if I'm thinking not, I don't want to see Alabama again this early. Let me see Alabama a little bit later in the playoffs. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to see Alabama again. I think that's actually the only team I don't want to see. I really want to play Indiana. I really want to play them. So bad. But yeah, the Chandler Morris would be fun. But go ahead.
I have a very big feeling that Indiana's going to look a little different this weekend. And I'm not talking good different. But hey, listen, I think Alabama's reeling right now. I think we did something bad to Ty Simpson. And I've gone back and looked at all the quarterbacks that played us, what they did the next week. And there was a trend, Jay. Every quarterback had a bad game the next week. Didn't matter the competition except for Sellers. Sellers had an out-of-body experience and threw for like a career high or a season high passing against Missouri. But every other quarterback struggled the next week. They were a little gun shy. Didn't do well. But the running games for every one of the teams that we played, they ran all over the opponent the next week. They were going crazy because a little bit different when you're not running up against that defensive line. So I would love to see, from just what I think is the easiest matchup, I'd love to see Virginia come in the house. I would love to see Notre Dame because I think that's going to be the best one. And I know that Brent Venables says we run towards adversity, not away from it. So, I got to think that he will take whoever they line us up against, whether it's at home or on the road.
BV has no fear in any of that. Bob Stoops never did either. That was kind of the one thing I've always appreciated about them is that when it came to that, came to who we playing, they're like, oh, I'm in. I don't care who it is. We're gonna compete against whomever you want to put in front of us. So they've always been down for that. So, excuse me, Daniel. Thank you for the $20. It's complete crap. The analysis was horrible from them till now. Why do we listen to them? Not going to finish the rest of that, but don't worry about it. It's funny more than anything for us. We're laughing at how everyone is really weird about Oklahoma and their utmost, I guess, hate and not feel good about our Sooners. So, perfect. Well, let's talk about, of course, the recruiting class. We have our class in place. But first, shout out to our partners at Sleeper. Before we keep going, let's talk about our partners over there at Sleeper, our presenting sponsor for the channel. We have to give them a shout out. If you have not checked them out for daily fantasy ball, you are missing out. They're more than just season long fantasy, and they've got some great promos and options. Like right now, if you use our promo code unfair, they're gonna give you $20 just for signing up. And if you decide to make a deposit, use our promo code. They're gonna match your deposit at 100% up to $100. And so all you do is go inside of the app, pick 2 or more players, pick more or less on their stats, and boom, you are in the game, and you can make up to 1,000 times your money. So turning those game days into paydays. Also, inside the app, cool stuff. They show you live stats. You've got a chat function so you can chop it up with folks about the biggest plays and the biggest players at the time. So if you want to get into the action, you have the opportunity. Use our promo code unfair. They're going to match your deposit at 100% up to $100. And new users, $20 just for signing up. No deposit is needed, so doesn't hurt to try. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Let's slide on and talk about this class, Coop. We signed 24. So basically our entire class signed that we was anticipating to get a signature from. And I'm pretty excited about the fact that we made the magic happen. I'm going to pull up these young chaps, and they're actually in order of when their paperwork was sent in. So, Coop, I know you had some things you want to talk about with this, but I'm just going to run through this really quickly because, of course, I'm excited that we have, let's see, you got Jacob Curry, Dane Bathurst, Brian Harris, Jasir Rogers, Jake Carell, Xavier Okwufuluzi, Christian Moore. You've got Jonathan Hatton, which of course you know is my favorite. Ryder Mix, Trace Rudd, our next kicker. Hopefully he's got a titanium leg like Tate Sandell. We'll find out. Daniel Norman or Best, DeZephin Walker, Markel Ford, Deacon Schmidt. There's Bo Bentley. Matthew Nelson, Tyler Ruxer, Derek Johnson II, in which Coop did an interview with his pops, Daniel Odom, Nico and Bo Jandro, the twins. Coop did an interview with their pops as well as on the channel. James Carrington, Big Tank, and then the fudge, the hot fudge on the Hot Fudge Sunday that we created. Jaden Pettit, the big time wide receiver. So, Coop, you were talking about this. Let's slide into that. Who do you think is the most underrated one we got on this list of players?
I mean, obviously with the evals, this is kind of the first recruiting class where Jim Nagy and his crew really got in and started finding guys that, they were going to looking at the film, not the databases. And I mean, I'll just say, I think that I read somewhere else, maybe McQuistion kind of feels the same way, but Jacob Curry, that is a Brent Venables linebacker. He was, you mentioned it before we came on, dude had his paperwork in first. We spent some time going after him, trying to get him to switch back over, but this is another Brent Venables type linebacker. One of those guys who just has an absolute motor. One is a junkie for the film. And I think that this kid's going to turn out to be a really, really good one.
I like that. That's a very good pick. I'm going to agree with the chat as everybody's putting who they think is going to be the most underrated on here. I'm 100% in agreement. Christian Moore. I think this dude's going to be a beast. 6'1". Both the linebackers, basically. Jacob Curry and Christian Moore are the two that we really are high on outside of the Jandro brothers, of course. But I think he's going to be a beast. When I saw the numbers, he had over like 300 and some tackles in his career. He's played both sides of the ball last season, 91 tackles, 16 and a half tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles and 5 breakups and a returned fumble for a touchdown his senior year. Dude's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast. He's terrifying.
Reminds me of Ronell Lewis. And
I like that.
If you remember Ronell Lewis, Ronell Lewis made his imprint, early on special teams, on punt and kickoffs, and he's kind of like Boganowski, and he wants to put his helmet somewhere in or around your body. And so he is going to, but yeah, both those linebackers, the underrated one's tough because, I mean, the Twins too. Both those guys, I mean, I think if you guys listen to the interview, those dudes on their recruiting trip wanted to go down and work out with the team every time. Every time they were in town, they would just hit up the gym. They would just be like, hey, yeah, we want to go there first. They'd go get a good workout in, and then listen to the recruiting stuff. And so I think Jerry Schmidt's going to have himself a little, some little, Tasmanian devils in the gym, and that's going to be, it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, it's 100% going to be some gym rats on this one. And Nagy said this, Jim Nagy, the general manager, said this during the signing day video or whatnot. And what he pointed out was that they're looking for violence. Like, they're looking for dudes who are violent. And you all see that in the way that we play ball. We are a very physical team. We're one that teams don't like to go up against because physically we try to make you work for it. And because of that, Nagy mentioned that's what this front office staff is looking for, dudes that are going to be super physical. And I think Christian Moore is going to be one of them. Okay, next one. Who do you think has potential to being an MVP whenever they get some full time? Who you got?
I mean, listen, I think Deacon Schmidt is going to be the next big Deacon one. Schmidt. I think at tackle, but it's kind of hard to be an MVP on the O-line. Deke is a big Colorado guy. He's another workout warrior. I mean, anything that he posts online is typically him, up at 4:00 in the morning, doing workouts. But I mean, you got to go with Jonathan Hatton. I mean, that dude is an Adrian Peterson, lookalike. He is massive. He is fast, and he wants to thump. And I think that he's one that you could really look at and go, and I know I stole your boy from you. I apologize for that. But you watch his film, and it's just, he's just out there running touchdowns. I mean, he is a threat to take it every single time.
Yeah, of course you would, pick two. No one is supposed to pick one. Schmidt was yours. You need to be thoughtful here, Coop. You know that my dude is Jonathan Hatton. I say it all the time. I say it jokingly at the same time for real. Dude broke me. Like, when he committed early, I'm like, okay, who is this dude that's going to commit 3 years ahead of his class? Like, what are we doing here? Right? Then I go watch tape. I'm like, oh, that's why. And then each year I've watched his film and he's gotten bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so it's funny. They have him listed here as 6'205". That's from whenever he measured here before. He's already tweeted out and said, no, I'm 6'1", 220 now.
Yeah.
He's going to walk in as a freshman, the size of basically Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
That's pretty absurd if you really think about it. That is pretty ridiculous if you think about it. He is going to be a dude. Jonathan Hatton is probably he's probably one of my favorite recruits, period, in the entire Brent Venables era. Kid is a monster, and I am so excited to see him get out there and play. But since you picked him as well, I'm gonna pick another one that I think that's gonna be a big surprise and shock. Well, has MVP potential out there. It gets tough. I try to avoid picking quarterbacks. We know Bo's going to be nice, but Jay Krill's going to be a monster, dog. Like, the measurables, everything about him, his motor, 6'3", he's like 240 now, I believe. But 6'3", 6'4", 240, 230, 240. Dog, Jay Krill's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast. Like, a beast. I am so excited about Jay Krill.
He's going to, I mean, the defensive end room this next year, even with losing our Mason Thomas, I mean, you're going to have Taylor Wine, you're going to have PJ, you're going to have Danny Okoye, Wyatt Gilmore starting to get a lot of praise, and then you've got you've got Jake Krill, who's going to come in and he's going to, I mean, if he walks in at 240, 6'3", 240, he's about 9 pounds behind what RMT is right now. Right now, like RMT took some time to get to that weight. I remember when R. Mason got here and they talked about his just athleticism and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. But you see how size, he's like 215, 220. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of thin, but we'll see where he gets to. And then he's evolved. Next thing you know, you're like, God, dog is a big boy. Yeah. He's big. Jay Krill is going to be one that I think is going to be
just monstrous out there. Let me see. Most likely to play next season. Who do you think? Y'all can hop in the comments too and drop y'all's as well. Ken, I see your $5. Thank you so much for that. I'll address your question on the other side of talking about these recruits. But give me who you think will play potentially next season as a freshman.
Jay, I'm gonna let you go first since I stole.
No. You go, Coop. It's okay. I'm gonna let you have this one.
Pettit. Homeboy is 6'4", 200. I mean, that is a dude who is going to come into campus, and he is going to be an SEC body right away. This one says 220, so this one has him a little bit even bigger.
Yeah,
but
I think this was the last time he measured with us. So yeah, it's always interesting to see.
Again, another late flip. Emmett Jones and staff were on him extremely early. You saw him put that out there quite a bit here recently. But this is a big target, man. And, on the outside, you've had Keontae Lewis, who's, battled with some health stuff. Javon Gibson just coming back from some health stuff. This is a dude who's got some burners, and he's a big body. And if you can give John Mateer, next year, that big weapon on the outside, go in and use him in the red zone. I mean, this is an SEC ready body right from the get go.
Yeah, I agree. He's got the build already to play, so that's the big plus. Someone mentioned 6'4" receiver named Jaden will work for me. Fair point, Hank. I see what you did there, my friend. But yeah, Pettit's going to be a really good one. I actually think he probably could crack the rotation. The biggest question, of course, is always going to be playbook. And you just, how good of a blocker he is, because blocking is always critical in that wide receiver room. Someone that I think could possibly see a lot of time next season. This one's a little tough, but Ryder Mix. I mean Tyler Ruxer and Ryder Mix. I think both the tight ends will find a way to get some time next season. I think you mix them with Trinae Washington. I think that they're going to see the field pretty fast. They already got some size on them. Like Tyler Ruxer is already 2.25 at 6'4". And so if he just puts on some pounds in the offseason, gets about 230, he'll be ready to play. And then Ryder Mix is already 235 at 6'2". He's going to probably add an additional 10 pounds. He can get him up there. He'll be ready to go. Those two are going to be fun. I think those two tight ends are going to probably see a lot of time early. If I was to pick one more person, it's probably going to be the person I was going to pick. I think Jay Crow is going to end up finding a way into the rotation early. I really do. He's going to be fun.
Hey, and you know what? If I'm doing with the tight ends, if I'm Bill Bedenbaugh, I put both those tight ends in the tackle rotation all through spring. Hey, just get in here. Like, let's put your hands on the defenders. Let's do that, because that's the big difference between when we saw in conference play with Jaron Kanik, you lose a lot in the blocking. And so when he's going to do the crack blocks on the edge, he's going to come into motion, and then he's going to run a route, and you're never going to see him as a we saw it in the fourth down attempts against LSU. You get in 13 personnel, and we just got kind of blown up. Nobody is scared of him. But he's willing. He just hasn't been a tight end in his life. And so put those guys on the offensive line rotation in the spring. Let them learn how to blocks. Yeah,
that's exactly it. So I think the other one that should keep your eyes on for real, not only Dane Bathurst at linebacker with, of course, Jacob Curry and Morris. I think that three-headed monster at linebacker is going to probably be up there with the three-headed monster of safeties we had in Boganowski, Reggie Powers the third, and Jaden Hardy. I think those three linebackers, when they hit the field together, is going to be stupid. This kid, though, here, Brian Harris.
Yes, very much.
Do not sleep on this dude. Do not sleep on big boys. 6'3", 290 already coming from Jacksonville. We got a lot of Florida kids, which is always fun. BV loves getting them from Florida. Yeah, 6'3", 290. Dude's going to be ready to ball. Like, I can see him over 300 by the time the season starts next year and still being able to move at 300. I don't think people understand the biggest challenge of getting to that weight is moving around in that weight. You got to see if you can still move at the same speed or at least speedy enough to where you're still disruptive as you want to be. He is definitely one that I think can do that at 310 this year. I can see him putting on 20 pounds over the summer and being ready to go at the same speed as he was at 290.
He's going to, I mean, you've got some good young talent there with Trent Wilson, Marcus Strong, still now in his third year. But yeah, you're going to lose Dom Williams. You're going to lose G Baby. And so you're going to need some more disruption in there. And, if you're going to put in you got a great coach for it. And, I saw your comments in the chat. If we have a new tight ends coach, that could probably help something. But we need the tight ends to be a bigger part of the gameplay.
Exactly. That's all you need. So, but the class is nice. 24's in. It's not done, though. I don't believe we're done. I think we have a chance to potentially add more. Someone asked a pretty good question in here. Any rumors to Ian Primer almost flipping to Oklahoma? I don't know about that one. I haven't heard anything about that, but I do know that we're probably still shopping for one more wide receiver. Just don't know who.
And I do say this is you're going to have, I still predict that there's going to be some coaching movement. I really still do. And with the coaching movement is going to give people another 30-day, 30-day window. This team's going to, they're going to know what they're, put it this way. I trust this recruiting staff. I trust Jim Nagy, Stacey Ford. I trust all those guys. They're out there. They're having conversations. And if some stuff starts switching around, then just, prepare for it.
Yep, something to keep in mind. On top of that, there's a lot. There's still a few players that we had offered that still hasn't actually signed. So I do believe we're probably going to see some more wide. I think we're going to get another wide receiver. Let's just put it that way. So keep your eyes off on that. PG just got off with Jasir Rogers. That's dope. Can't wait to see that video. Make sure you go check him out over the PG show. That interview should be flames. So keep your eyes open on that. So people are saying something in the comments that I need to go verify really quickly. I want to make sure that this is good information, because if it's not a good information, I don't want to talk about it yet. But give me a second.
If it is what I think it is.
Yeah, no, we're good. There's nothing in here no.
No, there's a parody account which changes around the On3 logo and say it's No 3. And
no 3.
Yeah,
so they're terrible.
Cam Coleman has not hit the portal yet. I think that could potentially happen. He's going to probably not be making those decisions right yet. Probably have conversations with everybody. But if that does happen, don't be surprised if there's going to be a bidding war. And what does he want to do? Does he want to come win, go to a program and win, or does he want to go get the biggest amount of money? And but it's not done yet, so no need.
Yeah, it's gonna be biggest amount of a check that we're gonna be looking for to get out of him, because Cam Coleman is gonna be in high demand. So yeah, I know y'all got some questions and stuff in here. I've seen some. If you want to post some more, feel free to toss that here in the comments. We're gonna actually answer a few of those right now after we have this conversation about our partners over there at Sleeper. So we'll make a couple picks here. We appreciate Sleeper hooking us up. If you want to check them out, use our promo code UNFAIR. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. Plus, they're going to give you $20 just for checking them out. So you can just give them a shot, And like I said, use our promo code and see what they got going on. It's like right now, college basketball, 40% boost. All you got to do is pick 4 or more players, pick more or less on the stats. So like NFL action on Thursday night. I won't do no basketball right now because I am not very good at that right now. But you got the Cowboys. Y'all like Cowboys fans in here. Your free play is Dak Prescott. Probably should take advantage of that because he's going to get at least one passing yard. At least I hope in that one. Pickens has been they dude. I don't think I'm going to take him. Nope. I don't even want to touch that promo. I'm going to be away from it. But I will take Jared Goff to go ahead and throw all over the Cowboys because the defense hasn't been that great. Jahmyr Gibbs rushing for 72. I'll take less on that one. As well as Javonte Barnes. Nope. But Devontae Adams, I think he'll score a touchdown. Pick 2 or more players, more or less on the stats, and you are in the game. Turn those game days to paydays. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. Plus, give you $20 just for checking them out. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleepers terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Q&A. I saw a good question that popped up in here. I'm going to go ahead and grab that super chat. Super chats always get answered first. Ken asked the great question. Is there a scenario that will prevent us from hosting in round 1? I will be honest with you. That one is very tough, but I do believe there is a possibility for that. And I think that possibility really hinges on, I think it hinges heavily on everybody winning in front of us. So, like, as we look at the polls right now here, that will require Georgia to lose, Tech to lose, for us to actually be moved possibly down. If Tech loses the conference championship, BYU should jump up to where they're possibly around 8. Georgia loses, Bama's still going to move up. They have to move them up. So that's really your possibility of us not hosting. That would lead us down to 9-ish.
I also think in the fashion, if you have a situation where something happens, Georgia loses by, just a very, very, very small margin, that's, that could play. I mean, to be honest, I think that if Ohio State were to go out and, I remember the year with Cardell Jones, I think they played Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship, and I think they won like 70-0.
Mm-hmm.
If Indiana goes up against Ohio State and, just gets waxed, I think there's a situation to where we move up in that scenario.
Yeah. There is a possibility on that. I 100% agree. It'll be tough to keep us out of our spot. Let's put it that way. So when I look at this, the challenge for the committee is making sure that you don't punish teams for losing in the conference championship games. I don't think you should, especially if you're rated high. So Tech should not be punished as far as not being in the playoffs. They deserve to be in there because they made the conference championship game and they're highly rated. Notre Dame, I think, is the one team that probably is going to get the short end of the stick in all of this. Because whoever wins the ACC is either Duke or Virginia. And if Duke wins, North Texas wins, and James Madison wins, no one from the ACC will be represented in the playoffs. Because it's the highest rated conference champions. So if they're knocked off, if Duke pulls it off, ACC may not have a team represented, which would be wild. That means you'll get 2 G5s, not 1, but 2. Alabama wins. That probably shifts things up 1. I could totally see if Bama wins, Georgia moving to 9 and everybody moves up 1 spot. Because that would be their second loss to Bama. And you would have to put them ahead of them, but you wouldn't put Bama ahead of Oklahoma because of the head-to-head and the comparable schedules.
And there was even a stat out there, I can't remember who posted it on Twitter, but shows OU and Alabama's offensive outputs against the common opponents. and it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty close. And in a couple scenarios, OU got Bama on games. But I think I saw somebody say, would BYU slide up into the top 4 if they won? And here's why I think no, because I think that the only reason why Texas Tech is in at the top 4 is because they are undefeated. And if that were to happen, I think both of them are going to slide out. They'll probably slide some other teams up in there. And obviously, if it's a close game, Indiana, Ohio State, a lot of people say that those two are getting a bye regardless. I still think got to play the games and see what happens. But there's a lot of potential.
There's so many scenarios that's going to happen. So we'll jump into that a little bit. Not Jaden FX. Do we hit the portal hard, or will we just develop our current roster? So here's the thing about the way this staff works. Thank you for the question. We appreciate that. This is how this staff works. They like their recruits. But when they see that there's a deficiency, or if they need a player that's a little bit more refined, they're going to portal somebody in. So we will hit the portal. We'll probably portal in another wide receiver. And that's dependent on really if Isaiah Satania decides that he's potentially going to come back or not. But I do think, I think regardless of what Satania's decision is, we go get one more wide receiver to go along with our young guys. Everybody's learning this new system anyway. Got a full year in it now. They should be prepared to be able to contribute moving forward. All the recruits, but they will portal in at least a receiver. I could see us portaling in one more running back just because we need extra bodies because X-Rob and Torrey being hurt. Offensive line, I expect us to portal in maybe one lineman, maybe two. But I know we like our young players. The question is the health on the offensive line. I can see us portaling in another defensive lineman for depth purposes. I could see us portaling in one more corner for depth purposes. I think that's it. I don't think you're going to see a lot of portals in. It depends upon how many gets quote unquote pushed out. But I actually think they like this roster a lot. So yeah, that's usually what.
They're gonna. I mean, they're gonna build through retention and development. That's you're now starting to see a lot of that. Probably center is one of my big ones. I think that you got to go and get some center depth unless they feel that Hollenbeck has started making some good development over the past, because it's not a strength deal with him. It is technique and just learning the system. I mean, the dude's a wrestler. The dude's a monster. What do you feel about the corner depth? Because, I mean, you're going to have Eli, you're going to have Guillory, you got Devon Jordan, Jacoby Johnson. You've got a lot of corner depth. Malik Hawkins is still there. So do you feel good about that? But, do you want to get back into that spot to where you're always rotating guys because of an injury? So, I think that's I think that those are the ones. Maybe if you can get yourself a tight end. I know that we hosted the Oklahoma State tight end, so that lets you know that they were looking at them. Let's just make sure that these guys, because I did see a comment. You don't want another Jaden Ott situation where you go out and pay a bunch of money to somebody and then you find out that they're soft, because Jaden Ott's thing wasn't a talent; it was mental.
I'll put it to you this way. Y'all hear me say this very often, so I hope y'all take this to heart when I say it. The transfer portal giveth, and the transfer portal taketh away. And when it comes to giveth, you don't know what you're getting. Someone will tell you that they will do certain things in order to woo them over. You typically have to pay them. The transfer portal is retail prices. If you ever bought anything at wholesale and see how much cheaper it is in the long run for you, that's recruits. Our recruits are wholesale prices. So we get them in the bulk, and we start to pay them more as we see, big time performances for retention, because retention is also critical. Retention is just as important as acquisition. So for us, the focal point is always the class, the players that they have there. And that's what you notice how they're so good, is majority of these dudes are players that have been in this system for a while. And then they add an additional component here who's learning it. Back to technique though, as Coop talked about Hollenbeck, technique is going to be critical for him to really get down. I bet you Wewu showed you, and Jason pointed this out. This dude was a beast out there at center playing that for the first time. First time. That's how talented he is.
In a game.
In a game. I mean, he's been practicing it, but in a game. Told y'all. Second year with Beatonbow, these transfers always pop. McCabe Matower did the exact same thing when he was there. Second year, everybody loved him. They hated him first year. Same thing for Betchy. I hated him first year. Second year, it popped. He had the talent. They knew that they could get it out of him. He is good. Hollenbeck's going to have to learn. Hollenbeck's going to have to learn that technique. Because I actually heard Gabe talking about that with EPL. And he was talking about, one reason EPL didn't play as much as we wanted him to was technique. And you started seeing it in certain plays. A lot of his run plays, he was mauling, but there was some plays where he looked lost. You're like, hey, you get your technique better to where you're not letting dudes get past you. It's a work in progress, and I think EPL is going to be great next season. But that's something to keep in mind when it comes to that. Yes, Troy Everett is a senior. He's gone. Isaiah Satania question, is he going to be gone? Is he going to stay next season? I'm going to be honest, I think Satania comes back. I think we try to convince him to come back. Why? Because I think that we try to make a run in 2026 for real.
I think as it stands, I would say that he is headed out. But I agree with what you say. I think that like we did with R. Mason Thomas this year, how we kind of did with Billy Bowman, last year, and Danny Stutzman last year. You tell him, you know what this is. We're going to get you some help, so it's not just you out there. We're going to get you some help, and when everybody's healthy, hopefully, that you are going to try to make a run. So I think that's a big opportunity. Is if you're going to look at a Satania, I mean, the dude is very, very fast. He does have some issues with some drops. He needs to get a little bit more secure with the football. I mean, he's going to probably get a third or fourth round grade. And I think that with what that money looks like, you could probably give him a pretty good package to stay here.
Yep. There's always a possibility. You don't know, but we'll see. Can we portal Cam Coleman? You going to pay for it? Or are you going to find out if he's going to hit the portal? Because he's not in the portal. You can't portal somebody that's not in the portal. So we'll talk about who's going to be available in the portal in January. Because I don't expect anybody to really hit the portal of substance until about the end. So, truth be told. I don't know if Bo Bentley's hurt. Ain't seen or heard nothing about it. Don't matter. Because he's probably not going to play next season anyway. You're going to redshirt him. Get him up to speed and get him going.
I think it was a shoulder issue, but he's playing. He's playing in the playoffs right now. But yeah, it's if he's playing,
then he's fine. If he's playing, he's fine. I mean, the picture that he took with Coach Kuz and Arbuckle at his signing, I don't see any slings or anything. So I don't know. Let me see. Let me see this. Let me go ahead and block this person real quick because I really don't want to see anything they ever say. Yeah, let me go. You are blocked.
Is that me?
Perfect.
You blocked me?
Yes, I had to block you, Coop. You had things to say. No, football, you're not getting refunds for players. There's no living in the NFL. It doesn't work that way. Watchmen, that's a good question. Y'all think we beat the Dogs. We have their number like y'all's have ours. Yes, I actually think that y'all pull off another win on them. I think DeBoer and that staff has Georgia's number. It's just sometimes it happens that way where a team has another team's number, and it's just unfortunate for them that they just can't get around them. I do think y'all beat Georgia, to be honest, and that's going to make it fun or whatnot. So
I don't know what to think about Georgia, and I really don't. It's just because, like, again, I think that they got Texas's number, so it's just this weird circle. It's not, there's not really any excuses. You could say like, well, the one time we had a healthy team, we beat Texas in the past 3 years. But you come out with Mateer on his injury. But I digress on what does Georgia look like against Alabama? Because Gunnar Stockton's running the ball really, really well right now. And I will have to say that if you get Frazier out there running and Stockton's running the ball well, what do the wide receivers do? How Alabama's passing defense has been great, yeah, I mean, like I said, homeboy, we may have hurt Ty Simpson's mentality, and so maybe he going against Georgia with a couple wins here recently, maybe he just snaps out of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. We'll see. I do think Kane Womack has Georgia has their has Mike Bobo kind of in a blender. If I'm gonna be honest, it's what it seems like. Kane has been doing really good against him. That's where the matchups are, right? Kirby Smart versus Kalen DeBoer. You got Kane Womack going up against Bobo. It's gonna be fascinating when we see how that looks like. Keandre asked the question, are you guys surprised about the lack of highly rated defensive tackles in the recruiting class? No, not at all, actually. I actually see the talent that they went and got, and they got dudes that's going to match exactly how they want them to play in this system. Yeah, remember, Brent Venables, the way his defense works, he gets players based upon how he feels like they fit in the way that they play. And I get that a lot of people want him to be like the super duper type players. One thing that I know, like Jake Crow's 5-star, in most recruiting sites, Jake will probably play next year. We're not going to go out and pay a bunch of 5-star D tackles that's not going to play. Like at all. Like you're going to have a 5-star playing in Stone. You're going to have Jaden Jackson's going to be playing next year. You'll probably start seeing some Trent Wilson, in which Trent, he can be a problem. You'll see Nigel Smith rotating out there, the former 4-star. He'll start to rotate next season a lot. You'll probably see still some Marcus Strong out there as well. You still got a few other ones that may potentially play, but not a lot. But you've got a lot of talent already there. And 27, you're probably going to get a couple of 5-star D tackles. Let's put it that way. We've already got a couple that we're looking at, but I expect that to happen in that one. So keep your eyes open for that. Yeah. 27 is going to be nice.
And I mean, you also look at the situation where if you go out and get one of these 5-stars, you pay them a bunch of money. They don't get, like, look at Stone last year. Stone played sparingly, but nothing like he did this year. And then you run into an issue to where you're going, hey, man, NIL for 27 is kind of based off what you did in 26. Mm-hmm. And then you lose them to the portal, and you've already paid them a bunch of money for nothing. And so I think that's where these guys are going to, this coaching staff is going to continue to focus on the development of those guys you already got in house, i.e. Trent Wilson, guys like Marcus Strong. Strong's played quite a bit, and I think that he is going to. He's going to. I think he'll have a little bit of a jump next year.
Yeah. Somebody's mentioning a 27 verbal, but I'm not sure who that is. So
the Keldrick Ben is what they said at the end there, but that was. Yes.
Oh yeah, we've been on about him. Yeah, he's been a running back that's been in here or whatnot. So, look, Fathead, did you for real say that out loud? Did you put that name in the chat? He PG, put the name in the chat.
He saw PG and he decided to.
I'm gonna fight him and PG. I will fight both of you when I see you. Don't worry, we're gonna fight. I've got water balloons ready for both of you. Don't do that to me. Do not do that. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, but yeah, Keldrick Ben. Yeah, we see him. We talked about him. What, Sunday? When we talked about the recruits or whatnot. That's another big one. So he's good. I know. But yeah, I think that's really it. No other questions in here. PG, you know what you did, PG. You see the name in there. You see the name that you caused. It's your fault.
It's your presence. Talking about.
Yes, fella. That name. We want that name that shall not be named. I'm going to fight you, Jason. I'm not going to tell you either. I refuse for you to know too, because I know you will pull that off. You and PG, I'm going to fight y'all. Don't worry. I'll tell you who it was, but I'll fight y'all later. Fathead, you're laughing because you know it's hilarious. He
threw a stick in the bicycle tire, just said, have at it.
Oh, that's a good question though, Fathead. I actually like this one. Does titanium legs stay?
Yeah, I mean, guys, unless the Raiders are drafting a kicker, you're typically not going to go super high. And dude's probably going to win the Groza Award this year. And shout out to OU Twitter for fighting the bots in that bad boy. But yeah, pretty fun. I mean, he's having himself. I mean, when was the last time the kicker got this much love?
When's the last time people cared about the name of the kicker?
I mean, you got T-shirts, which, by the way, Jay, we need to do the giveaway. We need to do the giveaway for the two T-shirts. It is a we got a Tate Sandell T-shirt off Opolis. Got a winning is a skill shirt out of Opolis. They sent me a double order on accident, so only caveat is they're both extra large.
So we'll do this. We're going to give away the extra large, and we're also going to order a different size to go with that. So what you will need to do is, in the channel, tomorrow morning, I will put a post up with a picture of those shirts and a form for you to fill out to enter in the contest. If you want to win one of those, you will fill that out. We will draw the name next week on the show. That way, we will ship out a shirt. We will probably send out 5 total. So we're going to take care of y'all because y'all have been great to us. A giveaway will go down. So keep on the channel, in the community. You will see a post at 8 o'clock in the morning in regards to those shirts. Click the form, fill it out, put in your information, put what size you want, and we will send you a shirt for those that we draw. We'll draw a few names here on the show. So we appreciate all of that. A couple more questions before we get out of here. Somebody asked a very interesting one I thought was very intriguing. Asked the question of Hudson TD77A. Do we really want to host a game if it is going to be below 32 degrees outside? Absolutely. Yes. It's football weather, right? I ain't going to be there in that cold. I'm going to be out at the house watching it. I need to go live right afterwards. But yeah, it'd be fun.
I'm just saying, if you travel to South Bend, it's not going to be 65 and sunny up there. So would you rather host it in the cold or would you rather travel in the cold? So, I mean, there's going to get that. I mean, Alabama, I'm guessing Tuscaloosa's weather patterns ain't too much different than us. So, I mean, if it's 32 here, it might be 42 there. And Mom always said that cold is cold. So, I don't know. I would rather have it for the economy, if nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be fun. So, yeah, I would rather host rather than go somewhere else further north where it's going to be colder. So, yeah.
I'd rather it be cold than 101, on the field and everything like that. Like that's
because we can wear a whole bunch of clothes. It can serve you hot cocoa. And you can find ways to be all right in it. So, no, that's a very fair point. I totally agree with you.
The Schooner All-American ales keep you warm.
They really do. It definitely keeps Coop warm. If you see him, he out there losing his mind. So, all right. Last question I'll take from Frankie for the playoffs. Do we see Barnes, Tatum, or even Sawchuk sightings on the field? I think Sawchuk will eventually get some run, possibly next season. I think he's got to work on his blocking better. But I do expect to see Barnes playing because it doesn't affect his red shirt, and he's been a practice body this entire time, even though he's not playing. So yeah, I'm totally here for that. Stevie, I answer yours too. How much better would the O-line be since 3 of the 5 are freshmen or redshirt freshmen? Buddy, I am excited about how good the line should be next season because we're returning 4 players at minimum. So you'll have Fasusi, Fogier, EPL, and then Michael, and you just got to add one more, which could be Heath if he's healthy. It could be Darius Afalava if he's going, right? You could probably put Daniel Akinkumi in there. If he's ready to go, you'll have multiple options on the line, which is a really good thing for us, something that we have not had to have before.
And yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Also, you hope to retain guys like Isaiah Autry-Dent too. And so, if you can get, some good health and depth, I mean, no shade towards the Jakes, but, we've not been able to rely on them for 2 years now. And And so now you just pray that knock on the wood there, that all the freshmen stay healthy. You start really getting into getting into some run blocking. Those guys have been really, really good pass blocking. Shout out Weiwu. What was he, the number one right guard in college football this year, as far as like giving up pressures on pass protection. We seem to be better at that. So you take steps next year. Yeah, it's going to be a better offensive line.
Exactly. So we'll see growth. Pretty excited to see that. And we'll go from there. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. And yeah, True Okie, I do want to see Barnes because Barnes has been practicing. He may not play in the games, but he practices every week. He is a practice body and does a great job, I've heard. So if that's the case, yeah, we can use extra running back. So, but we will be back on Sunday per the usual, because on Sunday we will know where we're going to be. Thank y'all for 20,000. Once again, y'all have taken care of the people. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.